because I took no notes because I was a giant ball of stress. Oh my goodness, we are live bright and early, bright and early. We're here to cover City Women versus Tottenham. I am Crunk Chocolate. I'm with my show bros, Tom Mom, Sharpie. Sharpie, how are you feeling? You look extra sleepy, my boy.
Bro, I'm here out of love, love and
Yeah,
commitment to the team.
because I
Um,
love that.
not 100% right now. We're like 80, but that's okay. You show up and give what you have.
That's
What you
right.
have is enough, and I'm
The
enough
be-
today.
the best ability is availability.
Availability,
Oh,
Joel Embiid can learn that. So yes, yes.
Ooh.
oh
but,
man,
but
Tom
not
Mom,
wrong.
how are you? How are you?
Doing good. I made some blended coffee the other day, and I made a whole bunch. And so, like, I've been doing
Mm.
this weird rotating thing. Like, okay, in the freezer, in the refrigerator, in the freezer, in
Mm.
the refrigerator. So, like, it's just right for this morning. So, I'm grateful for that.
Nice. Oddly enough, on the weekends, I've been drinking hot coffee. Like during Monday through Friday, cold brew. But on the weekends,
Mm.
I fancy it up and I enjoy
Yeah.
a little hot brew.
Go back to go back to the originals. The originals,
What I
can't do
Classics
first
it.
fell
every
in love
time.
with. Yes, yes, yes. Oh man, what a great way. So actually, I do want to complain about this first. Why is Everton and Leicester and Liverpool and Arsenal on Paramount Plus, but
But
City versus
we're on.
Tottenham isn't?
Yeah, like because this is a way better match than any like this is probably the best. Well, I don't know. Liverpool Arsenal might be the best match of
Yes.
the game week, but just because of their closeness in the table. But like this is also a really important match, and like yeah, it is odd that Everton and Leicester are who is on Paramount Plus, but I guess
Is it
it's a really
about being fair? Like,
yeah
I'm trying to
yeah
think, did those people not get that coverage last weekend when we got it?
I
yeah I don't
I would love to know their mindset because I don't know if you're gonna pay for a league, wouldn't you just want as many games as you can give me? Just like give me all the games. I understand you got to share some with some people, but I don't really get it. I really
yeah
wish there was some sort of transparency with all of this because I think that's really what would help women's football the biggest. Is just maybe some kind of synchronized game plan because I feel like they're trying to grow women's football the same way they grew men's football, and it needs to be treated completely different. And
yes I actually, you know what, you know who probably knows. We got to reach out to the homie Jess Parker Humphreys. I bet they know like why um and like that is like I will say in as a Yank, it is very difficult to follow the WSL just because like you are kind of looking up when these times are, and like it's across various media platforms. Like you see on the men's, and I think that to your point about you can't grow the men's and the women's game the same. Like it appears as though like the women have like multiple media partners, at least in the UK. And I know like when NWSL starts up, like they're also going to have multiple media partners. Like they're still going to have matches on Paramount Plus, but they're also going to have matches on ESPN and ABC and Ion. So
mm,
this might be like one of
NWSL Plus.
yeah, yes, NWSL Plus.
That's fire. I think also, Tom, something that is missing. I know for me as a fan, when it comes to the men's Premier or the Premier League, I use the NBC Sports Instagram page because every week they post where the games are. Like it's either Peacock
mm.
or USA, and you just see it. And I
Right.
think if CBS is going to have the rights, the what's their page called? Whatever their football page is called, they have to
Galazzo.
start putting Galazzo. Yeah, Galazzo. I think they need to put it out and not just. I guess they only want to say their stuff, but you really need to put it out for everything. Like, oh, in the States, here's what we have on Paramount Plus, but also here's what you
Mhm.
need to do on go to the FA player and like
Right.
just to put it out, put that graphic out. So soon come hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
mean, they if they were smart, they would just hire Carrie Chemist because shout out to
She's
her.
on it.
She's on
Right,
it. Like she got
right.
that Google Doc and like has all of those matches on it.
The world.
Well, let's get to our baby blue Baddies. Starting 11 with this awful lineup. I,
Miracle
I
lineup. Ugh.
what I will say is I'm starting to see more and more people post about it, and I feel like we were kind
It's
of like the
sexist
main
at this
ones.
point. I don't
Yeah,
Yeah,
understand it.
like legit,
yeah, yeah.
like I don't get it. Did Tom Mom, do
Let's.
you have the actual
It's
lineup?
it's not on FOTMob yet, but like
Okay,
I from here I could do
We
it.
can see it
So
though. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
so we got Kiara Queen, the baby hair, Kiara Keating, baby hair queen in between the posts. Center back partnering, Greenwood, Alexandri, outside backs, Layla Wahhabi and Kirsten Kasparai. Looks like the midfield is going to be Yui Hasagawa, Laura Coombs, and Philippa Engeldahl. And then up top, we're just going to have our dynamic front three, um, Chloe Kelly, Lauren Hemp, and Bunny Shaw. So to me, like looking at this lineup, obviously, like let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Like it was confirmed by the team yesterday. Jill Roard ruptured her ACL. Whew. I'm just gonna take a moment to
Our
pray
first
for that.
one in a
Yes,
while.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. And that makes 11 ruptured ACLs in women's football across the world in 27 days. That just in 2024 alone.
that's
Which
insane.
which is wild. I don't. Whew. I just hope that we are getting a lot of rest. Oh, also side note, like I don't need any more reason not to like United, but
That
let's
part,
not
that part.
but we also don't need to attack Katie Zellum like for that tackle. Like that
Yes,
like I
yes,
mean
yes.
it just was it was. Um and I want to piggyback off of a point that Flops made yesterday. I think that we see Jill Roard playing the 10 for us, and we think like our mindset, especially as City fans, is like, oh, the player that played, that is the 10 for us, like that's our most creative player. And like if you look at chances created amongst the team, she might be in the top 5 um, on the team in chances created, but she's more of a Gundo type player in that she's gonna crash the box and then
Mm.
score from midfield. Um, we get a lot of creativity from our wings, from our fullbacks. So yes, we to say that we would miss her is crazy. That we wouldn't miss her is crazy, excuse me. But to say that we're going to lack chance creation without her in the
Mhm.
lineup might be a little bit overstated. And um, I think Laura Coombs is definitely going to have to be involved in more in this game and like making more of those runs into the box for them.
I think on my end, what I feel is that this 11 or some form of it, they know how to play together, right? Like Jill came this season. You literally have all of last season to go back to. So of course you don't want to lose, your best midfield attacker, but there is still plenty of talent on the pitch. I think our front three is probably in their best collective form. I know I challenged them at the start of the season in the summer when we previewed it,
Mhm.
and they've responded. Like everybody has stepped their game up. Bunny literally has the lead for most hat tricks in WSL history now, tied with Viv Minima. So she gets her goals. Kelly's dishing. Hemp is driving. Like, I'm not worried about goal scoring, right? Like, I know we can score enough goals. If anything, it's that little drop off maybe in like set piece defense, just off a height thing, because Royd is another statue out there, another giant. So, you lose a little bit of that. But as far as our ball possession retention, creating those chances, like we're gonna get chances. And I think that's the mindset that Gareth is gonna, give to the team. Is like, no, we can still do this. We want Jill, of course, but all right, we don't make excuses. Like it happens, and now we need these 3 points, and we go again.
Exactly.
And Jill will be at the Joy Stadium in support of the team, which I think is really dope. Like, and I
Yeah.
think it speaks to Charlie, to your point about having that continuity. um, the team likes each other, and like you can kind of tell, like that's like one of those signs of like, yeah, I know that I'm hurt, but like I'm gonna be here for y'all. Like, and I
Yes.
think that that's something that like we might not have seen over the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I do love that about our club. I watched. I mean, we'll talk about it in the recording tonight, but Yui's contract extension interview. Oh, I loved it so much. There was a point where the guy was like, "It's quite obvious that the team loves you," and then they show like clips of everybody just like mauling her, and she just goes, I don't think so. I just think they're being nice to me," and I was just like, Yui." I love you so much. She's just the sweetest. About the massive Jill Roard hole in our offense. Yes, Engeldahl, she's gonna have to step in. She's gonna have to do her thing. Um, I was having a conversation with someone on social media, and shout out to them. They're always very impassioned, so that's what I very much enjoy. Having conversations with them about it. They feel we have to go and get someone to fill in that spot. I think that is tricky, considering the fact that Jill will eventually be back, and in order to get someone of her caliber, you can't bring them and then tell them, hey, but once this other player comes back, eventually you're going to be immediately made a backup. We have people like Yui who could move up defensively. I mean, move up offensively. Yes, we might lose her defensive talent, but I think either way, she does what she does. We have Ruby Mace, who has been asking for a higher position up. You mentioned Coombs. We're going to have to expect more of her. How is your mindset on this situation? Do you think we need to just trust the squad that we have?
I think it's difficult when we just shipped our ready-made replacement out like this week.
Facts.
Um, so like I mean, you wonder if this news would have come out earlier, if this injury would have occurred last Friday versus um,
Wednesday.
you know, Wednesday, like if that would have still been the case. I don't know. Like I guess it I'm sure that Niels and Gareth are having conversations about like, do we trust the depth in the squad? What kind of play? What are the players that are available that we could actually get? What are we willing to pay? Like, are we willing? Like, I mean, uh, like NWSL just paid $150,000 for Dana. They paid the same figure for uh, Asiat Ashosola from Barcelona. So, um, is that money like clearly we have the money, but like is that
Yes.
like part of like the long term game plan, like to spend that money and just bring in someone and like then what does their like long term outlook with the club look like? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like something that came to me as Tom was sharing is going over those things. I'm thinking about like, what if there's a tactical shift that you can do where since we have our fullbacks who get up the pitch so much, kind of like we see on the men's side, right? Same club, same city. Um, we slide in Hemp into a little more central location and let her be a little bit more creative from that position because you do have, that fullback coming outside of her. So what I'm basically getting to is that I don't think it takes another new player because our style of play is so intricate. I don't think you just come in January and hit the ground running. Like even with Jill Roard, it took a couple months. We remember her comments, right, about how City play and like getting
Being
adjusted,
direct, yeah. Mhm.
being direct, and the manager having to figure out how to input this really big piece into this puzzle. You don't do that again mid-season when you're in a title hunt. I
Mm,
think you batten down the hatches. I think you rely on like having the ball as the best defense, right? Like again, we're not going to stop scoring goals. If anything, it goes from like maybe 3 goals a game to maybe two, right? Like
that's what I
you
said.
know,
Yeah.
and so it's just like we are. I think we're going to be fine. It's the same way with the men, right? Like just because Erling Haaland got hurt, we didn't go out and get another striker. No, you just play the people you have, and they elevate and they raise, rise to the occasion. So I feel like we have enough. I wouldn't bring in anybody. And like now in the summer, do you use that Dana money to go reinvest in the squad? Of course,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
you don't do. I don't think you need it right now. That feels like a panic move. Um, and it differs than what Chelsea did, right? When they went out and just got the striker, her name escapes me, Tom, the Colombian striker.
Oh, the one
Um,
from Levante, yes, and yeah,
yes, you know what I'm talking about. Yes,
yes,
but that is strikers very different than someone in the midfield. Like
yes,
it's a very simple job, especially in that system. It's like go score goals.
yes,
Okay, cool, be in, got it. But as far as a midfielder coming in, nah, not right now.
yeah, because like, and to Charlie, to your point about like how intricately we play, like really the only other club in the world that I would trust to get a midfielder from would be Barca, just based off of the way that we play. Like
Mm,
all like both of them, like the big North American leagues, like Liga MX Femenil and NWSL, they are so direct and like like one team in NWSL that maybe plays a little bit more possession based um would be North Carolina Courage, but the only midfielders that they would probably be willing to part with would be Denise O'Sullivan, and she's more of a six than an eight or a 10. Um, and I don't like I you just is such a metronome at the
yeah.
six. I don't know if you really want to move her. And like,
Mm,
and to your point earlier, like Coombs had such a good season for she had such a good season. And yes, it is like basically depending on somebody who is 33 to like find form that they previously had, and that is always a little bit dicey. But at the same time, like this is what you have, and I think that like trying to shoehorn specifically a midfielder into our system is probably not going to work.
And also, like, let's think about it. Engeldahl is playing for a new contract. Like
Yes,
I just saw talk about, possible contract
mhm.
extension coming. Like, and her light has dimmed this season because of Roy coming on. Right? She got jumped. And so she's motivated to go out and perform. Like we all remember the strike against Chelsea and some of the other great goals she had last season. Like she has that in her bag. Is she the same player? No. But if she gets a ball at the D, do I think she can get a shot on target and possibly score? Yes. I
yes.
have full
Mhm,
confidence in that.
mhm.
And so like yeah, like motivated players, especially who are in a contract season, that's the perfect recipe for great performance. So
Shout
I
out
get it.
to the late great Therese Paylor, who would always say that the contract year is undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Never lost.
honestly, I just want to give you guys some roses. Like just listen to you guys going back and forth and your thoughts and same club, same passion. I've just been this year. At our first year, I was always like tooting our horns and talking our stuff. Second year, I kind of like stepped back a little bit to kind of let people make their own decisions. I'm back on it. I'm our best supporter this year. I'm talking our shit, like truly, like just
Yes.
listening to us. And then Tom Bomb, you're like, man, NWSL, these teams, the styles, these players, actually, they're not this, they're this. And I'm just like, this dude is killing it. Like, bro,
Encyclopedic knowledge
like,
of the WSL
bro,
game.
like,
I
come
mean,
on
and
now.
here's the thing. Let's pull back the hood a little bit, right? Like we've even stepped it up in our own personal communications
Yep.
because a lot of
Yeah.
times, for those that don't know, like we communicate on Slack. Slack has channels. Most people know that, and we have a City Women channel, of course, but there are other things that happen in WOSO that don't involve City Women. And so,
Yes.
like, we broaden our horizons. We add our own WOSO channel just to make
Th-
sure that, like, news is going and getting its appropriate respect. It doesn't get lost in the fray. Because,
Right.
like, that Chelsea signing matters, right? Like,
Yes.
that's
It's
huge.
big. It's
It's
big.
very
Myra,
Yeah.
impactful.
Myra
Um,
Rodriguez, by the way.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you, thank you. Yes, appreciate it. And she balled out at the World Cup. So like there are things that are happening that, we want to make sure we let you all know about because that matters. Like when you see this
Right.
player pop up for Chelsea and she scores a brace soon, you're like, wait, when did they get her? They
Yeah.
got her in a transfer
There
window
were no
from Spain and
yeah.
it's from Levantes and it's huge. So yeah, and Tom has definitely been like the person I wanted to be more like because I was
Mhm.
late to the Wilso game. And so just learning knowledge, watching, you got to put in the hours and watch. But I'm definitely not where I want to be, but But yeah, man, time's to go.
I just have to shout out, the homies at Shea Butter FC and Diaspora United, um, the homies at Counter Press, and um, Crunk, you just put me onto them. The the
Oh, into the
all
channel. Oh,
no. You tweeted them onto the feed. It's the all black women that
oh, Gold
cover
Diggers.
Gold Diggers. Yes.
They are so dope. I love them. I I had to like cool off because I was just like, I want them to be like our sister pod so
Yeah.
bad. And so
Yes.
I followed all of them. I was like liking their post, and I was like, actually, I need to chill out. This probably seems weird. So
No,
and they do. And, yeah,
but they
sorry.
are dope. They are so dope. I went back and listened to a couple of episodes. It was like, yeah, they know what they're talking about, and
Mhm.
they have the good bants too, and yeah, and again, just like anything coming, delivered by black women, like
Yes.
you gotta love it. So
Yes. Before we get out of here, though, we have a team that we're playing, and we haven't discussed them like at all. So I figure we should do that quickly, maybe. This Tottenham squad. What Gareth said in the pre-match interview was, they've had a lot of change recently. They are bringing in some really good players. Who they were last year is not who they are this year. They still have a long ways to go, but they can now trouble us. But they're like a top 4 team, top 5 team. So we should be good. And I'm adding this so we should be good, but he did basically say those other things.
that was implied. Yes.
Yes. Tom Baum, how are you feeling about this?
So I know that Beth England was hurt when the season started, so Martha Thomas kind of has turned back the hands of time a little bit. But now that Beth England is fit, it appears that Wilhelm has tried to basically fit both of them together, and they're still trying to work out that relationship in a two-striker system because neither of them are. That's their preferred method to play, because they don't like both of them are very good at hold up play, and when you have a two striker system, you need one striker that is going to be good at hold up play, and then another striker that's going to run in behind. And where they're having the issue is running in behind. Where I see us finding a lot of joy is that because we dominate the ball so much, like that run in behind, Beth England can make it, yes, but she might not do it as much as she needs to necessarily. Um, I think the most interesting matchup to me is going to be Hemp versus Charlie Grant. Charlie Grant's one of the new players that they brought in. Played for the Matildas for Australia, so she knows Kennedy and Fowler very well. That she is very young, but she is a very good defender at the same time. But she does make some mistakes. She when in the match that the Matildas played against Spain and Spain spanked them, um, she was uh, she was the one that pretty much had for 40 minutes held Alexia Putellas to like nothing, like no chances at all. Um, so I will be interested to see how often Gareth flops his wings just to give her a different look. And it's like, okay, is this going to be Lauren Hemp running at her, or is this going to be Chloe Kelly like just getting a little bit of space so she can get across in, and like how does she deal with that? Because I think that to me that's going to be, I think we've talked about this in past seasons. Like every team's got a mark, right? Like and like I just think that she's going to be our like city's mark for on Tottenham on their squad.
Yeah. I actually don't want to add more to what you said because it was great. I actually personally want to address this fan 559. Have y'all considered that Baby Blue Baddies is kind of sexist? I actually had a very similar experience with something else when I commented on a Chloe Kelly post, And I said, y'all were cooking today. And someone said, did you tell them, are you being sexist right now? I think this is a little Black American to English lack of translation, because baby blue baddies literally just means sky blue. And in our culture, the term baddies just means a strong, most dope woman. That's all baddies means. So the term baby blue baddies just means a sky blue team of most dope women. That's literally it. So
Also, the name was given to us by a Black American woman. To Crunk's point, I don't want you to think that we're not considering this feedback.
yes,
Like this is
of
this is
course.
this is something that we have in fact thought about. Um, uh, I think based off of our reasons for having it, and how the name was supplied to, like, provided to us. Like, again, we want to be transparent. Like, shout out to Michaela. Michaela, we appreciate you.
Mhm.
Um, like, she was the one who, like, suggested that name to us. So that's like, I can understand why you would feel that it might be sexist, and yes, we have in fact considered that. Especially like being a group of five guys, like, like, we are not like, no, we didn't, like, we currently do not have like female representation on our show. Like, that is something we are working on. I do want to let y'all know that. Um, but yes, it is something that we have in fact considered. It is something that we have talked about, and it is something that we are aware of.
Yes. And again, I just wanted to address it. I didn't want to one make that person feel like we were just trying to ignore it and bypass it. And also I don't want you to feel like we're coming at you. I
No,
just want to establish that so so it doesn't become, because that's how like nasty rumors becomes. It's like someone
correct.
says something and then it just goes untouched and then
Yes,
people can just keep talking.
yes.
So before we get out of here though, quick score predictions.
I'll go first.
Go
Let me
ahead.
go
Mhm.
first, Tom. I think we win 2-0. Go City.
Love it.
Love it. I'm gonna say 3-1. Um, yeah, I think that, like, we're still gonna score goals, and we're gonna show the WSL that we're still in this.
And I think we're gonna have this is gonna be a strong match because of the fact that they're gonna want to support Jill. I posted it yesterday. I think we're gonna score big this match. Second match, that might be where the fall off happens. So I could see 3-0, 4-1. I just think we're gonna win by 3. So I'll do the Sharpie thing. I think we're gonna win by 3.
Love
Uh,
it.
I am Crunk Chocolate. I'm with Tom Bomb, Sharpie Charlie, my show bros. We are Shades of Blue. We will be back. Uh, I'm having a conversation tomorrow with Burnley podcast, Turfmore. Um, respect. I respect that, fam.
I respect that.
Yes,
Thank, thank,
1,000%.
thank you for your perspective, fan 550.
Yes, 1,000%. Yes, I will be with Turfcast, Burnley FC. Be having a conversation with them. I believe it's a little earlier because obviously they're in England, and then we'll have a Shades of Blue episode out hopefully Monday night, early Tuesday morning. You all know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.